here at Etihad Stadium. As the Gold Coast Suns, who have played 10 times here for just 2 victories, are looking to add to that. As we're underway in round 13, Rains has come back into the team in the last few weeks and done a pretty good job as Cripps gets the first clear disposal out of the middle. Day came out there for the Suns as he looks like he's back in defence. So short ball work. Hallahan, who's been excellent for them. Oh, Charlie Dixon all on his own, but drops the mark. Little handball from Tui. Back to Rowe. Forced to cough it up. Matera almost caught one in the back.
In amongst it early, Hutto, and that's what you want to see from both sides. Competitive start to the game. Crack in, try and get your first disposal, hit some bodies early.
Well, the ruckman going for it on the ground. Quite a bizarre ball up in the end. Murphy scrambling. Nichols got it out. Tui did the best he could. Harbrow the next to feel it. It's all up close and personal here at the moment. Harbrow, he was bracing for the contact. They were able to farm it through pretty effectively, starting with Bell, but comes unglued pretty quickly. And now is an easy opportunity for Matera, and he takes it. So it was a good intercept from Kolajasny from the Cripps handball. And suddenly Matera finds himself shooting for goal.
Just in the moment a little bit better than his opponent Buckley then. Recognised the moment the ball turns around, forges a couple of steps to the front, and then he gets first dibs at it.
He's managed 8 goals from 8 games. It's been a mixed bag for him so far this season. This should be a goal to start proceedings for the Suns, but it fades badly.
Talk about opportunities, and as the away side travelling, then you've got to make the most of these easy opportunities to start your game. Get yourself up and going, get your team up and going. The old silence the crowd doom.
If you're an opportunistic small forward, you have to kick those.
Yep, 100%.
They get themselves into a bit of trouble. White bangs away out to the wing. So the zone was pretty tight, but they've scrambled it over the line out on the wing, and now things can be balanced further for both teams.
Well, Rain's doing some work with Cripps at the moment as well. So the young Carlton star, he's got the tight tag today of Andrew Rains.
Well, he'll find out what life's really like at the top level, won't he?
And he's trying to go to Riscatelli at stoppages. So there's a bit of a runaround going on.
As Murphy kicks that out on the full.
So if Carlton get this right, they could make it work. Cripps may have to give up his own game at some stage to get to Riscatelli. But if that works, there's going to be a Carlton player who can get out of the loop at times.
Here's Saad, who's been one of the real finds, one of the real bonuses. And there's no doubt that they've been able to get something out of a number of young players who have had opportunities that they otherwise wouldn't have.
Yeah.
It's been a crippling season for them injury-wise. That's not a great kick, it has to be said. Well read by Menzel, who honours the lead of Everett. And he goes for full forward. It wasn't for goal, it was for Henderson. Excellent work coming hard the other way for the Gold Coast by Henry Shade. He's one of them, I reckon, who's a young defender, good size. Obviously, they wouldn't have expected him to play as many games as he had this season, but
probably needs to eat a few fish and chips in heavy batter. Put a bit of weight on him.
Sounds good. Got me hungry, Derm, as May kicks into half back. Nichols was in his sides. He's worked it through well. Here's Riscatelli. Carazzo trying to get with him on that occasion, takes him over and out.
Look right to the end, left-hand side of the screen. In a couple of minutes' time, you've got Big Lynch against Simon White. Simon White, under Johnny Barker, has been handed some massive roles out of his fighting division, but he's making a good fist of it. That's it. Once again, recognising the cue where the ruckman grabs it out of the ruck. He can only take one step to hack it forward, so you've got to be in front for those kicks that are always going to just tumble end over end and drop short.
And both sides playing a spare back at that stoppage, so it was handy for Carlton that the kick came in short because it was away from that extra defender. So Troy Menzel played 7 games for 11 goals this year. Just struggled a little bit with injury and just trying to get some consistent form together. If you're looking for a big day today, and it starts like that.
That's the difference right there, Durham. Get your opportunity early, nail it, send it straight over the goal umpire's hat, and then you charge off the ground. But anyway, on the way off, at least you can give your teammates a bit of passion, and they can get around you a little bit as well. And it's a good work there. He's an improving player. Menzel is getting better with every time he puts on the Carlton jumper. And good on him. great example there of making the most of an early opportunity.
So the Blues 1-1-7, Menzel kicking accurately. And they've already got a handy little advantage in the clearances, 3-1. It's something we can talk about as the day goes on, because Gold Coast, as Barry showed us before the game, have really fallen away since Dion Prestia's been out of their team. And Blues have actually been pretty good with centre clearances for the season. 5th in the comp for differential against their opponents. Nick Graham's enjoyed getting it an opportunity under John Barker. Takes them to centre half forward. Wood couldn't quite. He maybe held on for a bit long. Play on the call. Murphy edges it into the 50. Henderson had a little glance. Dismissive of McKenzie. Lined them up, or maybe lined his teammate up. Not quite sure. Top of the square, and Casbolt couldn't get the job done. It's a behind. Not a lot of that. There's the good kick in, and well read by Riscatelli. Still no Gary Ablett, of course, for the Suns. Hopefully next week. Took Miller held for way too long. And he'll take the free at half back.
Set it up. Terrible kick.
Massive setup.
He's actually lucky. McKenzie, great mark there, but
Could have done some damage.
Yeah, he could have. Murphy could have come off with a big cork or knee right in the middle of the back. Terrible kick.
Gee, it wasn't much of a step off the mark then. He sort of motioned to play on sideways, but didn't really come off and got called for play on.
Let's see if the Blues can tighten the defensive screws here. They've forced a halt to proceedings, but he's going to work it back and see if they can get an effective switch. Saad been pushed right into the back pocket, though, with May. Important player back in the team today.
So Carlton have run him up pretty well in the one-on-ones. That's over Hallahan's head.
Collar Jasny misses the mark. And here go the Blues. Buckley feeding it through to Everett. He can sense an opportunity to bang a big long goal on Casbolt.
Beautiful pair of hands.
We know goal kicking is more of the issue for him, but his actual raw numbers from set shots this year actually compare very well with the rest of the competition.
Because he's only hitting the scoreboard from this distance.
Well, maybe.
But he's got a wonderful set of hands.
And that's right through the middle.
Well, they created the turn. Well, Gold Coast really hurt themselves on that occasion. As you can see there, they're still going with the one-finger salute for the celebration, the Blues forwards. But if that's their thing, they can go with it. But it was the turnover from Gold Coast which really hurt them here. Collar Jasny missed an easy target, and then they're away and get in the hands here of Everett. He's having a shot at goal here. But look at Casbolt's work. Up, about, in, around, lost his direct opponent. And when he gets the jump at it, very difficult to stop.
15 goals, 7 for Levi Casbolt. Reads pretty well for the season. They'd love him to get more of the footy, of course. And the clearances, as I mentioned already, an issue for them. The Suns need to do something to turn that around. Wood got the tap. Nichols' follow-up was good. Was able to flick the handball out, but where to from here? Raines didn't have an answer. Murphy copping it again. Bennell, that's better now. Raines sweeping forward. Puts it high in front of Dixon. Rowe shown a good ability to negate, and he does it there. Simpson on duty on the last line. Bangs it up to the wing. Cripps, they come late. Menzel over the top of Saad. Suns players are able to keep their feet. This is Shade. Sends it back inside 50 again. Blues defence well placed to negate. And Simon, oh no, it's Dixon's free here.
I thought it was the chop of the arms initially, Hutto, but he's called the block.
So the block was on White, was it?
That's what the call is on Rowe. Got in there, took his run off the line, but
not a realistic attempt to go for the ball.
Yeah, I know.
That's what he's been called for. If he gets both hands up, gives the umpire an out.
And Dixon comes in, and he makes the most of the opportunity. Important strike, that one.
Carlton players at the moment are just having a chat to the umpire. trying to work out the reasoning behind the decision. He did engage, he did take off the line, but it wasn't severe. It wasn't anything. We've seen a lot worse throughout the season not get paid. I thought it was more a chopping of the arms. Should have gone Carlton's way on that occasion.
But he rounds him up away from the ball.
Tight.
If Simon White wasn't there, Durham, would you say it was a free kick or not?
No, because they're both going to maybe get a touch on the footy. But White's there, and that's the giveaway.
From the middle, the scrap is on. Kolodjasny trying to make the running. Wood. Kolodjasny does well, fights the really good fight. Gets them to the 50. Tui trying to send it the other way. Took them on, no free kick. He's climbed into his back there, Kolodjasny. He'll be disappointed with the call, but it looked reasonable. Oh, almost handed it straight back there, Carazzo. Wood letting the handball. Bell gets some more run, and White couldn't see off the tackle, and as a result, turnover affected. Riscatelli kicks it up to half forward. Well done from Wood, planted the big body in the road. Takes the mark. Got a feel for it yet, Jono?
Well, it's a competitive game. That's the most important thing, I think, for both sides. No side really able to break completely open yet, but the tackling's been good. Tackles are sticking from both sides, which is critical. Now Casbolt didn't hear the touch call on that occasion.
Oh, that's 50. That's
that is
stupid.
50. That is. You can't allow those frustrations to come into things early in this game. You're up by 7 points.
So as a young coach now, he has to show to the rest of the team that he is going to punish that action.
Right.
He has to bring him to the bench, or he has to send the runner out with the strictest of messages, so that 17 other blokes out there see that is intolerable.
Well, his skipper should be going past him as well, who's not far from him, whatever the result of this piece of play is. The next chance that Mark Murphy gets, he's the one who should be getting over to him as well, or Henderson or someone, just to say, hey, that's not our standard.
Runner's on the way out. We'll keep an eye on him. But we'll watch the Lynch kick first. And it's a punishing kick. Really punishing.
He's a beauty, Tom Lynch.
Oh, they're trying to milk another one. Levi Casbolt, he's off, yep.
You have to, for a young team, if you're a young coach. Now, he knows what he's done wrong. He's going to get him off and he's going to say, he's not going to rip him to pieces. He's going to say, mate, that is not our standard. And they've sent him straight back out there, but he has to do it.
100% he has to do it. It's good that he is doing it, Durham.
Straight to the phone for Levi Casbolt. John Barker experiencing what you have to go through as a senior
You know
coach.
you're in strike, but John Barker had the phone in his hand while he was still running from the middle of the ground. he was set.
Yeah.
It's interesting, though, isn't it? As we watch the ball out of the middle. Hallahan takes them very, very wide. Boston, who played pretty well in that last game against Freo. 22 disposals. The turn was excellent, wasn't it? To full forward, Miller waits down. Lynch claims it's not a mark, but it might still be a goal.
He's a ripper, this kid.
Bang.
Playing his 90th game, so he's been around since day one with this list.
Just for a quick moment back to the Casbolt, it's a lot of times the umpire will not pay holding the ball when they're clear that the player hasn't heard the touched and call.
You know what? I agree that they should pay it, because umpires feel sorry for blokes who can't hear properly. It's got to be the same rule for everyone.
Rockets pumped. Lynch is. He's kicked 2. Dixon's kicked 1. Really important, Jono, those big forwards getting goals early in the match.
Well, and that's exactly the message that Barker would have given to Casbolt. Now he's kicked 2 in a row, with the fact that Casbolt gives him his first one.
Oh,
with
what a tackle! Look at that. Riscatelli, seeing his Mark Murphy's coming through, tackles him and then clears his own feet off the ground.
He was airborne, wasn't he?
Which was the technique which one of your old teammates, Liberatore, employed for thousands of tackles.
The koala.
Yeah, Klingon.
He wasn't, well, he was not as far off the ground. The little handball worked through nicely by the Blues. Graham, and then the next one, they need the bounce. They got it outfield. Graham kept on coming. Now look at the result. Right under the chest. A big Cruiser.
He's not resting forward either, Cruiser. That looked like he was on the ball and he just pushed down that way and then doubled back up into that space.
Cam Wood was doing the exact same thing to Nichols early in the game before having a rest as well, Derm. So it's a plan from the ruckman. When the opportunity comes, you work this Gold Coast ruckman over, you go forward as hard as possible. Obviously identified they can potentially score on him.
So Cruiser to give Carlton the lead back. Been an interesting opening turn. Hangs away. It's not going to be a goal. Oh, is it a mark? It is paid. And a chance for a bit of redemption, perhaps.
Well, they worked it well, Gold Coast. Nichols got to the goal line, so he actually got back there to Spalls. That's disappointing, the fact he gave up the mark to Cruiser. They worked it out to get back,
Will he score?
and they allowed Casbolt to jump.
Will he score from here?
This is check how far he's come.
This is going through.
On the left.
Oh, he's overcurled it.
Let's have a look against the line here. Yeah, good call, umpire. Great call.
And a fair mark.
Yeah. I would dare say, overhead, he is the best in the comp.
Thumped back by Rowe. Well, Shark Sexton, another son to return to the team today. Yaron this time was able to shake off Miller. Dabs the pass to Doherty. The switch is certainly on for them. Oh, Curnow just lost balance on the way. Wrestled again with his jumping tackle technique, and it's working wonders for them at the moment. Riscatelli unsure for a moment, and something was playing on his mind there as the ball bouncing every which way and through for a behind in the end. Not sure why he stopped.
Let's have a look again. He's just got over the top of him. He straightened up.
I can't believe he missed. I'm not sure who was in front of him here, Riscatelli, but I think it was Matera, wasn't it, that he just completely missed him. Yeah.
Tui on the way out. Gold Coast leads by 5. Armfield with a slider.
Late 11 tackles so far, Gold Coast. So they're up for it.
Doherty, they would have got a lot out of that performance against Freo. It was clearly their most committed performance of the season.
Well, the last 10 minutes, it's 8-1. Gold Coast way in tackles.
Bell now. Casbolt's leading up to the 50. Might have to go in that direction. He's coming with a running jump, Levi. Couldn't make it. Had the superior leap into the air. That's holding the ball against Lynch. He was completely unsure. Graham, with great assurity, kicks towards full forward. Mansell to compete from behind. Well handled, though, by Hallahan, the former Hawk. Has Harbrow running for him. He's got Miller next cab if he wants. And then Sexton further afield. Before that, Buckley, no, couldn't impede him. Was about to be tackled, and so he kicked under a little bit of stress. Yaron takes the mark and decides to go via Curnow at centre-half back. And again, the Blues looking to switch as much as they can.
Even though their ball got turned over only about 6 or 7 minutes ago, Gold Coast ran straight to the square and blocked it up.
And Sexton was able to dismiss the tackle, lay it off, and that's a shocking kick from Andrew Boston.
Well, he's got talent, that kid.
He has, and look, he had the right to have a shot, but Matera was there again.
Look at Rocket.
Well, you can understand why. It should have been an easy handball. Matera would have been able to run in, have a bounce, and kick it from the goal square.
Well, that lad's got a great step on him, and anyone who has good feet like that, capable of great stepping sideways, normally has the kicking to match it. And he's taking a sandwich.
Tui down the line for Murphy, the Carlton skipper.
Now you look at this, see them from the inside there. Charlie Dixon's guarding the inside of the square, forces them to go down the line to make a one-on-one.
But they're sharking the crumbs at the moment, the Blues. Everett, though, brilliantly tackled. Well done, Mackenzie. There's another bit of terrific defensive action from the Suns.
Yeah, Mackenzie's not short. He's about 6'3" in the old, 190, 191. But he's up against Henderson, so he seems undersized at the power in his body, but he's making a good fist of it.
Oh, well, I went for unrealistic, and
I reckon he got a hand on that. He's a bit stiff there.
I get the feeling that the Suns are enjoying playing here at Etihad under the beautiful conditions.
Well, mate, they haven't seen a dry day for over a month.
Exactly. Here's Tui working out wide with Allard. Most of the Suns players playing in front, so he was forced wide with the kick. That's okay, though.
It was a great lead by Everett. He cut towards the middle, knew where he wanted the ball to go, and then got himself on the outside of Mackenzie.
What are you seeing down there, Baz, at this stage?
Well, the Gold Coast Suns are just struggling to get their running game going. They're in the game, they're tackling hard, but handball receipts 18-6 in favour of Carlton. Carlton are just moving the ball a hell of a lot better.
Nice sound, wasn't it? What a great kick from Everett. You hear the crunch off the boot.
Keep an eye on him. The one finger will come up. He does love that. There it is. Oh, Armfield's not around.
He's not a one-finger man.
He's not.
I mean, Armfield's camp, that's just not on.
You can see the lead here from Everett. He'll playing in front. Mackenzie comes up, knowing that Allard's going to get it. Cut back to there. Great kick. Great awareness from the kicker as well in Allard.
Not a lot of urgency out of Mackenzie there.
No.
Career high disposals, uncontested possessions, goals, score assists and clearances for Andres Everett this year. So he's enjoying his time at his third club. Palm down by Wood, but free kick going the Blues' way against Andrew Rains. And his direct opponent, Patrick Cripps, hoping that Henderson didn't quite get to Henderson. Armfield flew. Sard, swift hands, and we know he's got pace. He's express, in fact, as he comes away. Armfield kept up the chase. Brow also. He's had two bounces there, both of them unnecessary. Russell weaving, giving his forwards a chance. Lynch ready to fly. At the back, Matera. Now Charlie. Dixon gets it across to Bennell. He just uses those skills to fire away a goal. Nonchalantly, and puts it through.
Well, Baz, that's exactly what you're asking for from a Gold Coast point of view. That run, although Harbrow come back through the middle, at least he was trying to create something.
Yeah, definitely. That's what they need to do. We know how good they are at moving the ball. They were just very static early in this first quarter. So if they can get that running game going like they just did then, Jono, and this guy right here, he's a catalyst of it. He gets them going.
3 times they've had a runner out of the back line who's been run down or touched on the kick. They need to get a support runner. Gold Coast are one midfielder in support shy when the ball's coming out of their back line. They just need one support runner to come alongside, and the player won't get, recall that, the player kicking won't get touched. Remember the one that Yaron turned over at the other? He got on the end of the mark because there was a touch on that player trying to streak out of the back line. Just one more midfielder to run alongside to that ball carrier, and they'll have real good entries inside 50.
Even numbers at both ends in terms of forwards and backs, so no loose men. Lonigan, wild old handball, it's up for grabs. Here's Everett again. And he's looking to hit the scoreboard once more, but he can't. Boston. Now the run is on again from the Suns. A couple of bounces for Russell. He's done this several times. He works it to half forward, just guided it nicely for Lynch.
So Big Charlie is a big target down there. That's where it's going.
Oh, that's a commanding mark in the air. There was not as if there wasn't any other Carlton players around him either.
Well, they all came to him. You get a look at that. We'll have a look at it on replay. They all knew it was only going to Charlie, and they went there. But his reach and the way he ran to it. 5 Carlton players in screen.
And he comes in Dixon, and it's tucked way to the left. As we heard the crowd reacting to something down there, did you know what was going on?
Yeah, there was 2 players who were running off. Actually had a bit of a collision, so I'll keep it on.
From which team?
Opposite sides.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
right.
I might have had a bit of an inkling. It might have been deliberate.
Okay. Good scrap on the wing. 3.5 to go in the opening term.
That's a little bit like Barry. You actually had a couple of accidental collisions during your career.
Yeah, unfortunately, Doom, but then they were all accidental.
Yeah, absolutely.
4-4-28 to 3-3-21. So the Blues would have their concerns, I would think.
Yeah. Well, there's talent in this Gold Coast team. Bennell comes back in, and they've got goal-kicking potential from, less than 1 out of 5 chances.
And Cruiser coughed it up under strain. Kick the half forward. Here is A man full of that talent.
Dixon again.
Bennell.
Oh, he's shy kick.
Knew where it was coming. Doherty. Blues hoping to move it quickly. Have they got a path out of there? Doesn't look like it to me.
They've swarmed up all right here, the Gold Coast, on this Carlton back line.
They're forcing the Blues to take some kicks that they either don't want to or so far have shown that they're a bit edgy and dodgy on.
They're not even looking into the corridor here, Carlton.
Murphy for Cruiser.
Oh, he's had a bit of a falcon off the face.
Double falcon.
Again, Dixon has to compete against three, and again, he's just too tall for them.
He's very long, isn't he? I mean, he's 200 centimetres, which, hang on.
He didn't want the shot. He's happy for Harley to have a go.
No.
As soon as I talked about he turns half chances or 20%, 1 out of 5 chances, he goes and shanks 2. Yep, 1 off the face, the boat race.
I don't like that. You're a key forward. Take a mark there. Go back and have your set shot. Harley should be just telling him, no, mate, go back, have your shot here, take the 30 seconds off the clock and finish your work.
Blues are even less a corridor team under Barker than they were under Malthouse. Even more of the boundary.
They're getting some shots away.
And
It's home.
that's not a bad shot either. Boston's shown his class. It's a terrific goal.
This kid can play a bit. He's got, as I called it before, Jono, he's got very quick feet. Little look inside. Good balance up, 2 steps after he looks inside. 1, 2, onto the boot. That's nice.
He just knows where they are on that vision there. He just got a great sense of where to put the footy when having that shot.
So one thing that's really troubling Carlton right now is the Suns have got a little bit of run, a little bit of agility up forward, but their 2 key forwards are exceptionally tall and exceptionally big. They're really long when they reach up for the ball, and that's Lynch and also Dixon. That's creating some headaches.
Michael Jamieson played in the VFL today. They
saw that.
Obviously decided that he wasn't coming back from injury, that he needed the run. Carazzo with an immediate give, but there wasn't a lot of care taken with it. As you can see, the Suns were there. They're dominating around the clinches now. To full forward row, risks everything by going for a Dixon.
Fumble.
Still standing. Lemons, they try to set up on him. Carazzo persistent. Simpson.
The first little fumble cost the Suns there.
Bell using his strength, getting it in. It's going to be tough for Wood. He's against Day. Somehow fell back into his lap. He was super keen to kick it. Didn't really take a lot of care or have a look where it was going to go. And as you can see, didn't come to much. Lonigan's got Matera away.
Kids often ask me, John, I mean, your involvement with the junior boys in the elite level, what's the most important thing? It still comes back to one touch, ball handling. Yeah, that cost them a shot at goal there.
Well done by Buckley. Armfield, Kerno, the Blues not showing a lot of self-confidence there.
They've just taken away Carlton's belief right at this point in time. I might say right to rock bottom, but Carlton have just stalled a little bit over the last 10 or 12 minutes. Hallahan's been dominant inside. He's been pretty strong at it.
There he is again.
He's a brute, this kid. He's no longer a kid. You see him come in as 17, 18-year-olds.
Over the last 5 weeks, he's been in the top 20 in the AFL for clearances and contested possessions, Hallahan.
He might give you a run for the money, Barry. Apparently he's a pretty good pug with the gloves on too.
You're lucky I'm a lover, not a fighter now, Durham. But as you've seen there, boys, Menzel's just gone down the race. We'll keep an eye on that.
Didn't look great. Sub is Holman for Carlton, who's just played the 1 game.
It's good though that he's getting a gig. Get a look at these kids.
There he is.
Gee, he looks about 12.
Didn't he then?
Oh, what about that from Matera? Use the toe to scoop it up. Why bother bending down? Bennell kicks it to about 40. And the siren sounds to end an excellent first quarter for the Gold Coast Suns. They are here to play today, and they've kicked 5 goals, 5 in the first quarter. Carlton with a lot to think about. The Blues 3-3-21 at quarter time.
Professionalism with the ball in hand. better outfit than we've seen over the past few weeks.
6 more inside 50s they've had, and that's why Matty Primus was saying that perhaps they could be even further ahead. Let's see what the second quarter has in store for us. Second term from Etihad Stadium. Nichols still in the ruck, and Cruiser his opponent this time. And Nichols, well, he had the hands locked up, but he just got it away. Curnow feeding Murphy, so it's the Blues in first, but tough one for Casbolt. Oh, it's still up for grabs, though. Ella looking for Cripps. He's done enough to get it to boot, but that's all. So Sam Day playing as a defender today, Durham.
Yeah.
Coming in with the side's name. I mean, it looked like they may have been going to go with the three forwards, but they haven't, the 3 tall forwards. Day has just added to some strength in the back half. Here's Murphy.
See, the kid, Kolajasny, just coughed that one up. The little handball that came from the young man you were mentioning, Day. He's made a few Blues, Kolajasny, so far.
Yeah, kicking one earlier on allowed Casbolt to kick his first goal of the game. But you're right about being clean, and they missed an opportunity in the first quarter of the Gold Coast because they weren't clean up forward. If you're not clean in that defensive end, it can really punish you.
Bennell, and this is good systems here from the Suns again. Running hard out of defences. Russell, reasonably open ahead. Mostly one-on-ones. Hallahan off at something short. The message, as we heard, was to get it in quick. Oh, and it gets to Lynch.
Somehow got there.
Yeah, got a bit of fortune, the Blues, really, because he almost was able to snaffle it. Here's Bell, hemmed up against the line, but still at the left foot kick for Casbolt. Flew well done Day, nullified him, and there's Bennell. Russell. So it looks like the Carlton defence are going to be really trying to help each other out when it comes to contending with these big, tall Suns forwards. Doherty. Again, back down the line for Carlton. Fisted away by Cruiser. Here's Bell. Couldn't get onto it. Russell got the bounce that he was after.
Hey, boys, we spoke about Troy Menzel coming off the ground, and we found the injury here. It looks to be his right knee. He come off the ground and went down the race. He hasn't surfaced yet, so we know he's had his injury problems, and there he is limping pretty badly there. So he's pretty doubtful to come back on, I would think.
Fingers crossed for the young man.
All right, here's Carazzo streaming forward. Into the pocket, Henderson. He got a little nudge from behind by May. Ticked off by the umpire, Shade. Everett busting a gut, which he did well to stop Harbrow marking, but it did stem the progress in the end. Doherty, misfires into the 50.
Not clean again, Jono. Just an easy ball received for the tackle, and just couldn't take it with him. That infuriates a coach, Hutto.
There's Rodney Eade and Johnny Barker.
It's too hard to win the footy. It's too hard to accept hard handballs, but when they're lace out in front of your navel.
Bell, big chance here for the Blues. Across the face, Casbolt in fine position to take the mark.
He's not too bad at these when he's on his correct foot, because it means he doesn't have to go through the theory of lining up straight and get everything in a line. He just, a bit of talent. Not a bad effort. Hit it all right.
His kicking has improved, I think.
It has. It's still exceptionally flawed, though.
Yeah. His field, the numbers for his field kicking is actually worse than his set shots for goal.
Is it? I'm a rap for him as a player, though.
McKenzie to himself. So he locks himself into that outer side, and then just a little three-quarter kick. No problems for Shade. He'd be enjoying having to not play on as many players of size with May and Day back there.
Yeah.
A bit of respite for the young man. Matera. Back to Shade again.
Yeah, young Shade, he's got a bit. Oh, he's left it behind.
He's able to go back and get it. It's hard.
He's done well then. He's rope-a-doped them.
May was an inch or two from being called play on there.
Yeah, you've got some players on in the centre. Carlton spread to try and cover that, which should give a little bit more room down the line. That's going to be a 1-on-3.
Cruiser should be able to mark, which he does, not particularly convincingly, but he's got Buckley now running for him, who takes the conservative approach back into the defensive 50, giving Simon White some time to execute the wide kick for Graham, who's added a real tackling presence to the Carlton midfield since he's come back into the team. Curnow.
So they can play quick here. Murphy's going to get it out the back.
Rowe. Does it get through the air quick enough? Well, oh no, just a lunging Simpson, helpless as it went over the line and out of bounds, and they break down again, Carlton. So the margin 12. No goals in 5 minutes of the second term.
So that's well worked.
Miller running, about to run out of bounds. Murphy using all the steps he had available because there was nothing for him. Wood tried to use the height to advantage. Saad finally got himself balanced.
He's been super. That was fantastic then. Just took away the space that Wood had to win that ball.
Data, Lonigan, Henderson couldn't do anything about May taking the mark. Doherty gave Harbrow 15 or 20, just staying goal side of him.
So Kolodjasny ran past. He had to give that ball to Kolodjasny.
Almost a throw,
He went to Lynch. Lynch needed to hold back, allow Kolodjasny the space to get, and then kick the ball deep in.
Well, he's called advantage there, the umpire. Questionable whether it was, because Lynch had hurried his kick, and the Blues have gobbled it up in defence, and they've got the ball in Chris Yaron's hands. It was a bit of an iffy handball, and it made it life difficult for the big ruckman. Wood slammed it back. Casbolt, all or nothing with the mark. The fist came, and now Sexton runs into Bell, and Bell didn't feel a thing, and he just presses him off with utter contempt and kicks the half forward to Henderson, who had no one there in support at all. Advantage again. Bennell dabs the pass. This is up for grabs. Charging through very effectively for the Blues. Doherty, but his handball got the groans from the crowd. Look at the run of Tui. Adrenaline pumping. Wanted it back, did Zach. And bang! How about that for a bit of play? And a fair celebration too from Zach Tui.
Super well done by Carlton to capitalise on that. If I'm Rodney Eade, I'm going to send the runner out to Jared Harbrow for this kick. Watch him. He wants the ball lace out. He actually retreated from it and allowed his opponent to beat him to the footy. It could only ever go to him. He has to charge at that ball. He'll tear the ears off young Harbrow for that. Cost a goal. Well done by the Blues to capitalise on it.
Looks very calm, Rodney Eade.
Oh,
Don't know what you're talking about.
yeah. I think we've got him a few seconds later. He's moved on from that.
Wood out of the middle. Blues confidence restored with that goal. Armfield, Saad comes back to Armfield. Peering inside 50, looking for Cruiser.
Ball movement's been so much better from Carlton.
Yeah.
More fluent. Yeah, they've capitalised on a couple of turnovers from the Gold Coast, but outside of that, when they've got the possession in their hands, especially in the centre clearances, they're a lot cleaner. Yeah,
It was a really good lead.
Kicked 2 goals against Adelaide. And goalless last week, Matty Cruiser. It's great to have him and see him back out there again. It's a tough kick, and so it proves. No score, no mark. McKenzie with the escape. That's straight for the boundary line. As deliberate as you like.
You reckon?
I think it was. He's a better kick than that. We know that is.
But he's trying to kick the cover off it. And I reckon it's hit the instep, and it was a missed kick.
It was a beautiful miss.
You're a generous man, Durham.
Once again, the umpires have given him a bit of latitude for a mistake. All right, if you give a free kick, go through with it. Rainsey's been around long enough now. You give the free kick, it's a value for money.
This game's just a little bit volatile, I reckon. Seen a few little mini explosions.
Nick Graham earns the free. Well done.
Simpson gave it to Yaron. He wasn't really expecting it, but things open up for him nicely. Wants it back, Yaron. He's pieced his way through beautifully. It's all about the finish, and the finish is glorious for the Blues, and scores a level.
That's a weapon, isn't it? Just raw pace. That is a weapon and a half. But Charlie Dixon really needed to man the mark better then. I know he's never going to catch him. Let's have a look at the hard free kick earned. Oh, a little one over the back there. So Rainsy hangs on.
Good finish. Dropped a couple of weeks ago. Back into the side.
Super, that was.
That's twice Carlton players have had the give and the get back, which would be really encouraging. They're winning the uncontested battle in this quarter, just starting to win the ball and get it onto the outside, and here they are again. Carazzo gathered it up from Murphy. And again, trying to map out a plan. He didn't see anything he liked. Not yet. Kick to a one-on-one. Cruiser having a bit of an influence now. Armfield straight towards goal. And the kick went there as well. And the Blues are in front once more.
Lost their shape at the centre bounce then. That was purely a centre bounce clearance because the Gold Coast Suns went hunting the footy rather than keeping to the principle of what it is to be around the stoppages. And it left a completely open side, which Carlton took the ball out with.
First quarter, Harbrow makes those tackles, just allowed Carazzo to get around. Saad's got a bit of work to do on Armfield now. He's had an impact in the second quarter.
Usually as a defensive player in the forward line, Dennis Armfield, it's a massive bonus, isn't it, when those sort of players can kick goals. Yeah. So the Blues with 3 in a row. Dynamic goals too. Ones that'll really get the fans up and about and making plenty of noise.
See, Mark Murphy's coming off the wing the last 2 centre bounces rather than start him inside.
Ready for it here. Got it from Carazzo.
I think it's a good setup to be honest, because it allows that when he's not getting sat on at the centre bounce, they miss him, but stoppages around the ground, he's the wingman, so he's the one by himself at the back of the stoppage. They feed back to him all the time and allow his good use going forward.
Lonergan had to be involved 2 or 3 times there. And the umpire let it all pass. And again.
That's all right. Just throw the ball in, umpire. And as he's going to make it a 2-on-3 here.
Carazzo versus
well rucked.
Unfortunately, it wasn't a ruck to advantage, though, was it?
Going to pop that one.
Straight to Sexton. 2 playing on Charlie. Better watch out, Simpson. He knew Miller was there, threatening. Doherty with a little soft slipper, trying to get it to the boundary line.
It's good umpiring that. You can't work out who started the fight, why it started. Or they're big fellas, they're out there, got a head of steam up. So there's no point in running in and saying, sort it out, fellas, stop it. Just throw the ball in.
That's it.
And they did again. Here's Murphy sweeping through his field. Here's Bell. He's been important in this quarter as well. To Cruiser. Had a bit of time to get it all together. And he does that. Armfield on the fly again. Pumps through the Henderson or Everett. Henderson wasn't sure if it was designed for him, but it was. And he realised it just in time.
Well, look at the Lynch then. Too slow to get up. He actually didn't make the contest. Is he carrying an injury that he... We'll get a look at it as part of the coverage. We'll get a replay of the mark and then the goal. But he went to ground and started clutching like a groin and adductor. Gee, they couldn't afford to lose him.
So Lockie Henderson's only had 1 disposal for the day. That was his first mark. And that's an important goal. Carlton have kicked 4 of them in a row now.
Started with their skipper, Mark Murphy, in the defensive end. We spoke about his setup at the stoppage, as you can see here, all by himself in the wing spot.
Yeah.
And he's the one who links up in the end. Out he goes. And he starts to set them up from that point on. So his positioning, I think, at stoppages is great coaching to allow him to get that open space and run and perform his craft at the ultimate best. Keeps running forward, but in the end, it's Armfield's great kick, who's had a good second quarter over to Henderson.
Watch Lynch here as he gets, and he doesn't get to the contest. Super well done. Just clutched at the groin area, so normally you'd prefer to see him get a hit because you know it's a bruise, but when they don't have contact and they go down, it's not a great sign.
Suns free out of the middle, much to the displeasure of the partisan Carlton crowd. Here's Charlie Dixon have a run. It might be a free, bit of interference.
His height has Rowe worried, his height and reach. Now, Rowe's a big man, a big fella, and a big, powerful bloke. But when they stand side to side and they both put their hands in the air, it multiplies the difference in height. So what do you got with...
202 centimetres, Charlie Dixon. Rowe's 198.
Yeah, so 4. That's going to turn into, you know, like an 8-10 centimetre reach advantage when they both had their hands above their head.
Probably 5 or 6 kilos as well. Here's the kick from Dixon. An important steadying influence, this one, for the Suns. They have to find a way to get a goal.
Well, it's coming down to the middle of the ground, and that's where both sides are taking their opportunities, especially in this quarter for Carlton. But here it's Hallahan out of the middle of the ground, and a good kick forward to the advantage of Dixon. Free kick there from Rowe, and that's what's caused, because you're following the big fella in, and then you pick up the flight of the ball late, and that's where you try and reposition yourself as a defender, and he gets the hand in the back. That's why the free kick was called.
Blues run has really worried the Gold Coast. 25 handball receives this quarter to 8, Jono.
Plus 23 and uncontested footy as well.
So that
in the last 10 minutes, 3 goals from stoppages. So that's why it's important around here for the Gold Coast to fix up that part of the game, Hutto.
And that goal was vital for them. Murphy, the service was pretty good for Henderson, who takes the collect. Everett wants it at the top of the square. He's leading hard, you can see, just at the top of the screen. Casbolt's down there now, so they're moving pretty well, and there's no options of them materialised for Henderson, but at least they've tried to give him something, some alternatives. Instead, he's just settled on a 3-quarter kick. Well done, Day, to the gate. Here's Allard. Oh, well, touch of Malcolm Blights there.
Jeepers, I thought you were going to go with a forbidden word there. Yes.
Just got to drop punt that over the goal umpire's head. Don't kick it too hard, just control a little drop punt rather than try and belt and dribble like he did then and hit the middle of the ball.
I thought he was like, I want to say like Blighty, like he ran, remember Blighty ran through the behind?
He did, yes.
Yeah. That was at the MCG.
It was.
With Charlie again. Mark Murphy, 6 possessions in this second quarter, Jono, and all of them uncontested. So, as you say, by keeping him outside of the centre square, he's weaving through and getting little handball receives. It's probably worth not clamping, but just keeping a really good close check on him.
Got to adjust that. High half forward for Gold Coast. If he's sitting at the back of the stoppage, has to come and engage Mark Murphy, because he's getting the uncontested ball, and we know how good a user he is when he gets space around him, that they retain possession. So they have to look at that, no doubt. You can't just have wing v wing in a stoppage situation like this with their control in this area of the Blues.
There's their shape away from the stoppage, back to goal, Carlton. Last bloke to know that it was his.
Early call, but that's what talent does to you.
And through to Riscatelli. So they're inside again. I think the kick was meant for Lonigan.
That's 50. That is 50. Yeah, he's trailing Yaron around, but in doing so, he encroaches into the protected area. Gee, he's had us. We talk about the players who've risen their stocks. I mean, he's always been a gun player, this bloke, but he's now assumed the mantle of captain without being captain, if you know what I mean. He talks a good game, he plays a good game, he organises really well. He's been fantastic for them, Cade Simpson.
So the Blues just getting a few touches across half-back and not much more. Simpson has some grander plans. Goes for White. Still not beyond the wing, though. Kick takes them to half-forward. Genuine one-on-one. May and Henderson. It's a good battle, that. Here's Bennell. Just caresses it into the middle.
That's good.
And Riscatelli.
You see him do that, and all the hard things in football are just a mindset enough. And if you could put those hard things in there on top of it, you'd have one of the great players. But that's when he got held at the stoppage before, because the opposition look at him and know the talent, so they get drawn into, not panic, but we'll give ourselves a little bit of a head start here with a little bit of a grapple, a little bit of a grab.
He's had 7 disposals this quarter as Lynch almost takes a terrific grab against White. He worked him over. Riscatelli
On to Charlie.
building again, and it's one-on-one. He's monstered him a little bit. Rowe, who wants it? Matera does. Couldn't get enough torque on the ball to get it back, and it's out on the full.
You can see now Charlie Dixon is drawing a third wheel to the party, to the dance. Yeah, they know it's going to him.
They are, and that's where Gold Coast need to be a little bit smarter. The message needs to come down, or the players need to identify it, that either Yaron's man or Simpson's man might be able to start to get a little bit of footy on the leader.
Tried for something a little bit too cute there, Lonigan. Going for Matera, and that's out of bounds.
I think it's players like Boston or Sexton. They're probably the two that need to find their way up forward, Derm, with a bit more ball in hand when it is coming forward, so they actually engage their defenders.
Oh, Raines could have drawn a free there. Upended by Cripps.
Hang on to it.
Everett gets it over the line. That was his intention.
Had a good year, Skinny Everett.
Very good year.
So the Suns just 1 goal in this second term. Carlton with 4 goals, 3. They've levelled up the general play in the last 5 or 6 minutes. Carazzo mining it out of there. LR, but it should be all Gold Coast. Sam Day. Do you think he might end up being a defender day, or?
Still don't know yet. Still got to get a real read on his skill set. Blokes with his pace and his ability to mark the ball are rare birds, and you just can't say at this age it's confined to the back line. It's too hard to get good key forwards who can do that. So you still have to work it out.
Of course, plenty of attention to Charlie Dixon. No one's quite sure whether he'll still be there next year or not.
That reminds me at quarter time when you saw Henderson speaking to the group. If I'm a Carlton supporter, I'm wrapped with that. Because if you assume one of those leadership roles, emotionally it makes it harder for you to walk away from the group no matter what the offers on the table are.
Bennell gets them to 50 again, and they're looking dangerous here, the Suns. Charlie's hurt himself on the fence. Ooh, didn't like it. He's given away a free because of his frustrations, Charlie Dixon.
I don't think it was Zach Tui who put him in the fence either. So he got the wrong bloke.
Sam Rowe.
Yeah.
You know what it's like being a football, it doesn't matter. Hey, Baz, if they've got the other jumper on, they're all fair game.
That's right. I don't mind giving away a free kick like that every now and again. I reckon it keeps them honest.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, big leap from Lynch. Matera was camped underneath, but it fell the wrong side for him. Oh, Murphy.
Oh, is that? That was close from Riscatelli then.
In the old days before goal reviews, John, he probably would have been able to claim that.
Yeah. He didn't appeal hard enough.
Cruiser takes it inside defensive 50 for Carlton.
Yeah, could be like Test cricket now, you only get 2 per innings.
Yes.
Allard's got to go.
That's a good effort.
Menzel's out there for Carlton, which is great news.
Yeah. Restrapped. He took the strapping off when we saw the picture of him running out earlier today. Strapping was on.
Still battling though, isn't he?
Yeah, he had the strapping off when he was downstairs, and now that's a fresh roll of tape on.
Murphy.
Oh, well done, Levi.
And he's kept it in. I'm not sure if he really wanted to, but he kept it in.
He didn't know he kept it in.
They're still outnumbered down there, the Blues. Oh, it's fallen beautifully though for Henderson. Mark Murphy, the skipper. No. That's not going to bounce through.
Oh, Cade Kolajasny, I know the kid can play, but every time I'm seeing him involved at the moment, he's doing something that puts your heart in your mouth.
What were you knowing about John?
Oh, no, the fact that, the kick. As soon as it hit his foot, you knew straight away that it was the wrong decision on kick. I'm with Jason Dunstall on this. I think it should be, every time you get that opportunity and you're running free like Murphy then, straighten yourself up and just put a nice kick to the goal line. It'll dribble through for you. No need to dribble kick it along the ground or bend it around from that situation there. There is a time and place for it, but that wasn't it.
Fair call. Simpson.
Yeah, it's for the impossible angle.
Yeah.
Back to Rowe. There's no kick for him down the middle, so it's...
Bit of fatigue's just crept in. And you see a lot of separation opening up now.
Yep.
But when they run and mark, they haven't got the energy to sprint on and automatically play on and get the ball down the line. They're looking for, there you go, mark, receive. Somebody will run side on. Mark, receive. It'll be a slow play on until you get it in this bloke's hands, Hutto.
Well, will he take him on? He will. No, he changed his mind, just revised things. He was about to shoot off. And Simpson handball. That's interesting handball because it really gave Carazzo no hope at all. It might cost them a goal. Mateer is there for him if he wanted him. And I think the first instinct would have been the best one there, John Odom, to give the handball. You're reenacting it here in the box.
It's fair to say I'm well and truly entrenched in this game, Hutto. I'm loving it.
I don't know if we can get a replay in the commentary box if you just put that handball out. And the kick goes.
First reaction's often the best, exactly like that one there. It just opens things up, make things easy for yourselves, like Carlton have done here.
Bell, he's almost on to whatever it is. Well, he was behind, and he just hit it at exactly the right moment. Andreas Everett can line it up for another.
Easy, basic skills. First option, exactly what Carlton were able to produce on that occasion. Curnow just stepped inside, and they got enough link running on the way past. Exactly what Gold Coast should have done up the other end.
Everett. Careful over the ball from 30 out. Collins it safely through. He's kicked another.
He gave the overhanded ET high five celebratory finger palm, whatever you call it.
Well, there's not much love today for him, Andreas Everett. Like that.
They'll realise how stupid it looks, that's why.
I don't think it'll last. I think this is the last day we'll see. We'll see it, but he is having another solid game of footy for Carlton.
Two more goals for Andreas Everett today. Takes him to 14 goals. Kicked 3 last week. 8 in the last 3 weeks for Everett.
Henderson going behind the footy. Now is the spare just to clog things up with 1:25 to go in this quarter.
Oh, Bell couldn't quite complete the job, but he had Murphy getting to the dangerous spot for Carlton, kicking them deep to full forward. Everett stays down, and the ball comes to Riscatelli. Had to go back into the traffic. McKenzie. It's a highly stressed situation here for the Suns late in the quarter. Gee, he bounced up beautifully. Lemons gave it to Dixon, who comes spinning through on the wing. Had to improvise a bit with a kick.
He's still going, Big Charlie. Put it in front of him. Reward him for the run.
Boston does do that. Henderson there.
Super. I'm applauding that one. I know you can just hear it through the mic. Who at 201 centimetres takes the ball on the back flank, blind turns, gets through, puts it lace out off 2 steps, and says, I'm going like a midfielder. That is, I've seen him take big marks. I've seen him kick some wonderful goals. But to me, that says something about Charlie Dixon.
Who does? Charlie does do. And he's looking for his 3rd goal. And he might, just fall short.
It just said, I want to stamp myself on this game.
Here's
Have a look at this.
Run here. Look at that involved there for your Derm.
But that's, he said enough's enough. You know, we're thereabouts. We're 8 points off it. We're 9 points off it. I'm going to run on into this spot here. I'm going to put my stamp on the game. Fair enough, he didn't kick the goal, but he did everything else so right.
See Henderson there as well. If he's going to go back as a spare, he needs to position himself a little bit better so he can impact contests like that inside defensive 50 for himself.
They're going to get safely out here, the Blues. Get to half-time after a most productive quarter from Carlton. They lead by 2 goals at half-time. They kick 5-4 to 1-2 in an excellent second term. They're still engaged in this, the Suns, though. It's quite a contest. 16th versus 18th. 4 valuable points on the line.
A league football is pumped up. They are like rocks.
A huge second half coming up here from Etihad Stadium. Margin is 12. There's been a bit of niggle in this game.
So we've got a swing now. We've got Kerno going over onto
Bennell,
as you saw before the game, and he's already started a little bit of niggle.
Yeah, so that hurts already. Free kick here was it's the Crips. They were out then, the Gold Coast. They gave away a hold free kick. And it just holds that early momentum they would have been looking for, especially out of those clearances.
he hands it off to Yaron. And he just goes for a little pokey kick out to the wing. Carazzo. Tried to invent something really. Menzel coming up on the lead, but you saw the spoil from Kolajasny.
He's still hobbling, Menzel. He's battling away. He's had half-time to try and get the knee right. He's had issues throughout the first half. Still hobbling around.
My read on the first half is the Suns have got some big timber that's troubling Carlton. They are just, because they've used 40 players, some of their players out there are just a little light on, can't hang on to the tackle and just getting swept aside by some bigger bodies, even though Carlton are not without some juniors out there as well.
Graham's kick is beautifully clung onto by Cripps. That was an excellent mark.
We showed before the game, though, he is genuinely a big guy, 194 centimetres, 90 kilos. So he's got the likes of even a Jared Roughhead covered in terms of size. So
he's still, because he's so tall and long, he still will require a bit of filling out. He's pretty good through the hips and thighs, but up top he's going to turn into a bigger specimen as well. So he's going to be really powerful in about 18 months' time.
He's left that well left.
looks like Sexton's got the job on Mark Murphy in this quarter as well. He's following him everywhere at the moment, Derm. We mentioned Murph at half-time, how well he was going in this game. There's the match up there.
Oh, he's kicked to a 1-2.
Cruiser takes it and goes bounding into goal. Didn't get the contact he would have liked on the kick. So a couple of let-offs for the Suns to start this quarter.
Was that McKenzie kicked that out?
May, I think it was.
May, was it? My God, that's a terrible selection.
Oh,
play on.
Boy, that wasn't the call Kolajasny was expecting. It was probably nearly 20 metres. The kick aimed up at Nichols. Ghosting over the pack, it's over the line and out of bounds.
That's far enough.
Jeepers. They're really hard on short passes in the forward 50, and they're really hard on the short passes from the goal square.
Yep.
Yeah. Anywhere else on the ground, that's probably twice as long as they're going to pay them. I'm starting to think that you should probably, for the rules of our game and the sport in general, push it out to 20 metres for kicks.
Yeah, I guess the one thing that makes zones even more effective, though, doesn't it? Here's the handball work. It was slick from Cruz, and the next one not so good over the top. But gee, Armfield's having a fair day. And look at that! He's put that through as well.
Great finish.
Good sidestep to get free.
That was a brilliant kick from Armfield. You're right, Hutto, he's on today. He's had an impact that second quarter. He was able to get back on top of Saad. And look here, what a way to start the second half. Full of confidence.
Still talking to Troy Menzel. He's a bit of a heart and soul player, isn't he, Dennis Armfield? I mean, people said, oh, why is he still in the team? But you can see why with the way he goes about his footy.
I'll tell you, young Alex Sexton doesn't want that to be replayed too many times in his attempted smother of that kick, though.
24 clearances to 12. We saw the numbers there.
So the blokes downstairs will probably replay it.
Cruiser and Nichols. Combat in the middle is good. Risk a tally, but it flicks out. where the Blues have been doing some damage on the outside. Tui, bereft of anything that he liked the look of. Again, it's just treading a bit of water until something comes up. Short to Cruiser. He's really keen to play on at all costs today, Cruiser. Sweeping through the middle, Yarran. Not the best execution of the kick. Matera was touched. He's heaved it up to half forward. Lynch.
He's got to take his time. He's got a 1-on-3 ahead.
Yeah,
now Dixon races to get to a target.
And then doubles back.
Well,
Too high.
bad luck.
Yeah, the kick wasn't great, was it? And that's almost a throw. It's not almost a throw. It is. Blues on the way out.
He lost his peak.
Yeah. Oh, Buckley had to improvise. Well done, Hallahan. They're going to find a way out. Curnow, they're on the edge here, the Blues. And that's not a great handball, but...
Not panicking, though.
No. Bell, skimming kick for Casbolt. Let's contest that against May.
See, there's a couple of times today in the first half, you've seen the likes of Tom Bell just treat some of the smaller Suns players with contempt, and that's size difference, that's seniority body, senior body just taking it to a young player. Have a look at the score sources there.
5-5 from stoppages.
To two guys from stoppages.
So Buckley's the latest victim. Got a bit of a limp going, and then gets another one for good measure.
He gets Pearl Harbor. Goes to jump him. Oh, friendly fire. Tommy Bell's 100 kilos under the foot.
I reckon Tommy Bell probably has done and will do a bit more friendly fire in his time. Such is the way he goes.
I wonder if Tom Bell's ever heard of a player called Gary Carlton. Former North Melbourne player, premiership player. He used to get called Crazy Horse.
Crazy Horse, yeah. So free kick going to Nichols.
Where Carlton are doing well at the moment, they're plus 63 in uncontested possessions and plus 46 in handball received, so that outside work. Contested footy's pretty even. Tackles are reasonably even as well. It's just on the outside where Carlton are producing better footy in this game.
See, Bennell was trying to take Curnow deep then. But he saw. The old man was tough. The old man would have just gritted his teeth and said, give me a better one next time, will you? Or you'll wear mine.
Spinning around the two ruckmen there. First to get his bearings is Nichols. Matera always looking to duck and weave and find a way out. Bennell is wobbly off the boot, but perfect for Dixon.
He can afford to play from behind. He's trying to argue the point that he marked it in the square. Yeah, take every advantage you can. So he can afford to play from behind because of that reach advantage. Curnow will be dirty with himself, allowing Harley Bennell to get through the traffic to the defensive side of the pack and bring that ball back in.
2 goals to his afternoon so far. Charlie Dixon surely can't miss from there. Straight through the middle, it's back to 14 points. Let Simon White know all about it. Yeah, there's a lot of aggro in this game, isn't there, really?
There's been a little bit throughout, which has been good. It's just kept the passion up.
Just bubbling away.
Tom Lynch is picking on Dylan Buckley. He's actually singling him out for every time he wants to go. Give it to him.
That was the missed tackle. That was the missed tackle for Curnow.
Yep. Let him get through the traffic.
There's a free kick. And this aggro has turned into something serious now because a free kick has gone, I think, against Simon White.
He's saying, I cop one head high first. That's the old saying.
Retaliator always gets caught.
Tell us about the retaliator, Barry Hall. You never got caught being the retaliator, did you?
I got caught a couple of times, but it's always hard done by. We know that.
Lynch comes in and they pay full price, the Blues. It's game on again.
2 goals this afternoon from silly free kicks, the Blues. It's still bubbling away.
Lynch has gone to
line.
Buckley again.
Well, he did.
He's actually singled him out. Thought, I'm going to give it to him.
He's my target today. But Casbolt wasn't in the first quarter who gave away the free kick to allow Lynch to kick a goal with the 50-metre. That one on Simon White.
He's got him again.
It's not for that, was it?
Can't
It was
be
for
for
that. No. No. Seriously.
No. So you can't grab a bloke by the jumper, but you can punch him in the guts.
Yeah.
No, that doesn't make sense.
Nichols, the Blues got a bit to make up for here. Ball spinning out of control, taken by Bell. Curnow feeding it back through to him. And that's pretty close to out on the full.
That's in the court of the land here that we live in. I've never heard of anyone getting a police record for grabbing someone by a jumper, but I have for punches.
Shade back to the wing. It's given some impetus though for the Suns. Floating handball, Harbrow, good. Riskatelli, Dixon again in the sides. Hard one to move. Nichols, Cruiser, good one-on-one battle. Into the pocket, and Tui takes it to safety.
Let's have a look at Lynch again. Watch this.
That's the free kick there. He's just dragged away from Simon White.
He's paid it because of a hole.
He caught it because of a hole, but
That's
seriously, what you see let go, and then you see get paid.
Nick Graham had to cop it up.
Great tackle.
Crushed. The Blues out of there. Doherty up to the wing. Again, the crowd screaming, getting really engaged in this now. Carlton fans can sense the Gold Coast are coming. Lemons squashed there in the middle, and a real opportunity for the Blues to go forward to Armfield again. He's having a day out. He sets it for Menzel. We know he's limping a bit. Has to dig deep and find some resilience. He's got a free.
Was that there, or did the crowd win him that free kick from the earlier one? We'll wait and see, but it was the rugby league style kick from Armfield on that occasion. Knew he wasn't going to be able to hit the goal spread, just chipped it high, let the winger run onto it.
They call that the Gary Owen.
Yes.
The chip and charge.
The chip and charge gets the free kick.
Oh, I tell you what,
there wasn't much in that either.
Didn't get a lot of hold on him. I think the Blues are getting one back here.
Maybe just sort of held his hand for a second. So Menzel kicked an early goal. He's been off with an injury. Right now he can contribute in the bit. Oh.
Sets it up.
Can blame the wonky knee for that. And he's paid it.
Oh.
Paid the mark to Casbolt.
Plus 50.
Plus 50. Oh, that levels things up a bit, doesn't it? There's Rocket.
Well, the Suns have got a fortunate one with Tommy Lynch the other end, and they got a fortunate one this end. They couldn't capitalise. They get another fortunate one.
It's double fortune because it takes Levi into the goal square. He would have been kicking from 15 metres out otherwise.
On an angle, and that's not a gimme.
He has kicked that a mile high.
I don't think the 50 was paid by David Harris, who was in charge then. I think it was Luke Farmer who came in from distance to just to give the 50.
Did Adam Sard have the ball and just drop it to the ground? So we watched.
So here we go. It could be. Oh,
He's never controlled that. So we've got Sand
there.
So Adam Sard
that's
just lets it drop away. That's fair enough.
It is 50, yeah.
Yep.
It's not a mark.
Back to 14.
2 goals for Levi Casbolt from exactly where he likes them.
Lots of little incidents in this game. No advantage there, but Graham's going to be quick to take it out to Bell. He can go further wide to the wing. So he's got on the bike, has Wood. Even numbers inside the 50. Sets it up. Casbolt at the front, at the back May.
Oh, he's
straight to ground.
He got avalanched there, Mitch Hallahan.
Rains has given away a couple of free kicks in the middle of the ground in centre bounce setups. Maybe they need to push him to a wing to come off a wing to pick up his opponent and be more proactive in the centre clearances. The Suns send someone else in there who's purely there to create the setups and win the footy for the Gold Coast.
Simon White for Rowe. Again, Wood charging out to give him something.
Super, well done, Cam Wood.
Can handball over the top to Simpson or even chip it. He does. Kate Simpson, their most experienced player, couldn't get there, and the ball is over and out. It is asking a lot of the ruckman to be delicate like that.
That is the only difficult part of that equation. He did so well running twice, 2 times in a row, out hard to the wing to receive, but the difficult part is the pure delivery.
Cruiser comes at this one, tapped it down for Graham. Curnow entangled with Bennell. And he did well. He's gained them another 15 or 20. Armfield, he kept it. Oh,
He was out.
just out. So the Blues getting a lot more of the footy this quarter. 47 disposals to 21. There's a view down on the forward 50 for Carlton, who are still attacking Cruiser. The call was great from Carazzo. He just couldn't quite get the ball placed where he would have liked. Cripps was ready for it. Curnow back to the square. Day tracks it, and he's going to get the say here. Goes short. Well handled.
Contested possessions in this quarter, 8-16. So they've doubled them at the source, winning the ball.
Come back to Lonigan.
You can't receive a handball. You've got to go around behind if you're going to do that. You can't cut. You can't cut.
Why can't you?
You just can't.
Well, I know you're telling me, and I believe you that that's the rules, but tell me a reason why you shouldn't be able to. If you run through there, an opponent can run through there too.
Yeah, you can follow you through.
Yeah,
still
you
can't
can
receive
follow
the ball.
through.
Yeah, that's it.
What if you're not good enough to kick far enough to go over the man on the mark? It has to go between you and him. That's a stupid rule.
Reigns has the ball at half-back. You blokes can fight between yourselves.
I think we agree with it. It's just
That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be.
Murphy. Armfield took it from Simpson. As they skip across the ground again.
They got a bit of mojo moving the ball with a bit of flow now, Carlton.
Henderson. Everett. It's going to be tough.
It's turning.
Can he shake him off? He decides to poke Lonigan. Oh, block. Doherty was more worried about the opponent rather than the footy, and he was shocked to find himself actually get it.
Well done, Collar Jasny.
perfect execution by Doherty when you talk about the bump these days.
It was, but the problem was he just didn't expect to get the ball, John.
Exactly.
Cruiser, a little flick over for Bell.
Now, Barry Hall, you're down there. Nick Malcheski's up and he's been stalking the boundary line. Any sort of talk of anyone being sore enough, or are they going to make a call on it soon?
Well, he's been sniffing around the coaches on the phone for quite a while, which tells you he's itching to get on. They need him on too, because they need some good ball users out there in critical times.
Now Yaron, he's got a couple of metres on Matera, who's running hard to the defensive side, and Yaron trying to bundle it up for Mark Murphy. As you can see, he missed the target conclusively, and it's Sexton who intervenes and trying to get something going here for the Suns, who are struggling, but they are staying in this game.
Hallahan runs on, won't get to him. They have got two wonderful targets up forward. If they can get the ball to them with a little bit of urgency, that's a bit late, with a little bit of urgency, those two forwards for the Suns are going to make all manner of problems as tiredness comes into this game, and they get some more one-on-ones. If they can just get the ball in there quicker.
They've only had 4 handball receives for the quarter, the Suns. In 18 minutes of play, so no flow and run by hand.
Mark kick. Just is an indicator of tired football.
And this is where it's coming unstuck for them, across half back or half forward. At least they've forced the stoppage now, and they can build something around it.
Nick Malcheski on the screen.
He was the sub a couple of weeks ago when Rocket said he wasn't actually ready to come back and play, but they were forced to by the limited resources. He came on early that day after the injury to Danny Stanley. Here's Mark Murphy. Been restricted a bit in this quarter. Murphy, just the 3 disposals. It's going to be downfield.
Tom Bell sneaks forward. Poor kick again.
There's Casbolt. Bell is able to track it down. Buckley, great running, storming through the middle. He's gone for broke, and the Carlton fans are on their feet. Son of a gun kicks the goal.
Oh, he's happy too, isn't he? Bouncing around. Good on him. That's what he can do. Break the lines.
Let's have a look at the downfield free. It's a bit of a bang down by Chance. No, dastardly. It's a bit late. Now watch Trent McKenzie's attack on his opponent here, Tom Bell. Watch him.
Oh, yeah.
Now that is... Now, Trent, I've met you a couple of times. You seem a nice young man, but that's pathetic. That would infuriate a coach.
100%.
That is... And the kid can play. Trent McKenzie, the way he trailed out behind the opponent there was a really weak effort.
Cruiser as the ball bubbles around. He's having some influence out there. Here's Cruiser. Here's Bell, one of the favourites of the Blues fans, and this is why. Thumping it to full forward. Wood had the size. Allard in the right spot for a little man, but unfortunately for Carlton fans, that's skied through from behind down to Barry Hall.
Yeah, Charlie Dixon's come off with an ankle complaint. His left ankle got a little strapped up, and looks like the sub is going to be made just as I speak. Nick Milcheski's taking the vest off. We'll find out who puts the red on.
So do you think it might be Charlie Barry, or you're not sure?
No, not at this stage. Charlie looks like he's testing his ankle at the moment. He just got some attention on it. I expect him back on, but I'll keep you updated who's got the red vest.
Just put Charlie in the square. Let him, if he can see out the game.
It's going to be one of the lightly framed kids because as the game goes on, it's going to be hand-to-hand combat, so to speak. It'll be that, or if they can suffer the and cover the, I suppose, the makeup of the back line, it'll be McKenzie or one of those young kids, because you can't have efforts like that.
But do you put, well, it could be for the back of that, but do you put Milcheski through the midfield on a wing potentially and leave Sard and Harbrow as your pure half-backs?
You want the,
to allow the French run through the midfield and that long left foot that he's got inside 50 to Lynch and Dixon.
Well, Milcheski, he's got the green back on now, so it might have been, they might have just been looking to see if Charlie wasn't going to make it back on. Now shaking his head sideways.
Might have just been Milcheski taking it off himself.
Well, they did have the red vest out too, so they've obviously changed their mind.
Yeah, they're putting it on him. He said no. I saw him shake his head. Barry?
Yeah, Charlie Dixon has got the red vest on. He wasn't happy about it.
Nichols, delicate here, Shane.
Just Nick went to put it back on, Milcheski, and Charlie then just shook his head as if in the, see, like that little action you're seeing there, saying no, not today. He was super today.
He was.
Charlie
Doherty
Dixon.
to Wood. Tumbles one inside 50. Busy at the moment, Allard. He's found a way to get ball to boot. Here's Carrazzo with a little bit of space. Decided not to go for goal, which was smart. Everett got rid of his opponent in shade, but then couldn't take the mark.
A bit stiff there because May went down to pick up the ball. But I think he tunneled into Armfield's stomach, and he's dismayed by that non-decision.
Nichols just had the handball in haste. Here's Bell, surely not from there.
See, the good teams, that type of handball, the good teams will not allow that. Handball blindly forward in a hope of just gaining some meterage. You won't allow a give up like that. That's a great kick.
Yeah, well, Bennell had this man Riscatelli on offer.
They've got no run from behind. Now see the Carlton players ahead of their Suns' opponents, means they're getting no run from behind.
Harbrow stabs one for Sexton.
Pace, both these players.
Yeah.
It's good effort.
Oh, he just got to it and it disobeyed him. Sexton to full forward. Oh, Boston is manhandled, but it was all ticked off by the umpire.
Yeah, that contest there, that's the Charlie Dixon ball.
That's right.
You're already seeing then, that's a big contest by Dixon, who's standing underneath that.
There's Milcheski.
We nearly open up for 5 minutes and put Bennell and Lynch as your two forwards and open everything else up. Clog up the midfield a little bit and allow Bennell maybe to do some work up forward for a few minutes, see if he can snag one or two.
Call. Great call. He's going to get Curnow.
Well, it's his first game back. He's starting to blow a little bit as a midfielder. He's not working as hard.
Oh, just for a moment his options dried up, but he did well and materialised his doing his best.
Oh, you beauty!
Just got through. Somehow, use your imagination. Kick inside 50, tough for Matera. Doherty is a terrific time. He's banged it out to the wing, hoping for the boundary line. Day dumped.
Great tackling.
Handball's on. Casbolt could just heave it forward forever, but he didn't. Instead, he's gone the slow boat through half forward. Graham. Now they've got their defensive stocks back there, the Suns. Still it stays in. Everett might take it towards the boundary line. He's dismissed, and he's got a free out of that.
Hang on too long in the tackle, Henry showed. The fumble, the recover, the blind turn. Magnificent, Jono.
It's great, wasn't it?
Oh, super.
Everett with 2 goals to his name, but that's not going to build his total.
Let's have a look again. Little, and he gets it back here in a fumble.
Fumble.
Bang, bang.
Oh.
See you later, Motors. I'm out of here. Good boy. There's a bit of dare about that kid, isn't there?
Yeah, he's all full steam ahead, isn't he?
Yeah.
Here's Tommy Lynch, hoping that Nichols can arrive at the right time. Miller has had a quiet day. Baz, what's going on down there?
Yeah, sub's been made for the Blues. Menzel, you've seen him have that right knee injury. He's been subbed out of the game. The 12-year-old, Nick Holman, he's on.
Look, he still looks 12. He hasn't grown up in the last hour. God, he's got a young face.
Just his second game.
Been playing some good footy at the next level down. A lot of people have been singing this lad's praises for some time.
Had 23 disposals in the VFL.
Good size, 187, 84 kilos listed at 187, 6'1 and a half, bordering 6'2.
Last played in his only other game in 2013. There's a good spinning move by Russell. They're working their way out here.
This is good.
Where to next? Oh, Shady's.
Lynch has to make it. He is a tireless worker and he gets a plugged bounce.
So the Blues have this game on their terms. They haven't finished off the Suns just yet, though. They've kicked 3-5 in this quarter to 2-1. So it's just kept the door ajar slightly for the Suns, who have only been inside 57 times for the quarter.
The thing is that Carlton are operating at 51% by foot this quarter, and that has just left the little bit of the ray of light. Oh, as I speak, let's take that 51 down even more now. Just left the door slightly ajar. Oh, go. Oh, no, maybe not with Yaron there.
So they've got to find some way of constructing a goal here, the Gold Coast Suns.
So now Rowe goes over to Tom Lynch.
Henderson plants himself in front, doesn't drag it down. Lemons. Oh, Boston almost. Simpson. This time Murphy gets the pass he's after.
2.5 minutes left in the quarter. Both teams are playing tired.
Yaron for Buckley.
Well done. He'd been punished, young Dylan Buckley, hasn't he? He's still the only one who would run out of the back line then to receive. Well done, Murphy.
Murphy going again. And into the 50. Tough for Casbolt. Couldn't lay a tackle. He basically trips out, but
He did.
he kept on going.
He's got no one to kick to because Yaron's down the line.
Cupboard was bare, wasn't it?
Yeah. See, by having Dixon off, Lynch has to play a role inside forward 50 where he can go to either side. But if you've got two key targets, you can pretty well command one side of the field for the quick break to either of those key targets.
Arbrow was trying to put the move on before he got the ball. Here's Bell. It's not exactly a clinic, a skills clinic at the moment. They're playing like 16th and 18th.
But that's just fatigue that you spoke about, because the first half, the skills were actually very good in this game.
Good game.
Yeah. Just dropping away now, like you said, 1:46 to go in the third. They're looking for three-quarter time, both sides.
Holman, he's in. He's going to run onto it here. Good boy. He's laid a tackle within 6 seconds of being on. Good lad. Big pat on that on that head that looks 12. That'll be a value when he's about 32, Johnny.
He's going for a contract and I think he's 25 still.
Yeah, correct.
Nothing wrong with looking a bit young, Derm. Here's Russell. Oh, he tips it dangerously. Oh, it's not 15. They're the rules today. Oh, did he tackle him high, Bell? Seconds ebbing away, but good fight by Lonigan.
Well, it's a big ball now.
Yeah, well, it's Henderson's ball to do with what he chooses. He's got Buckley to his left. He's more ambitious than that, though. Kicks it to Everett.
He's a very good set shot. Yeah. I mean, he got away from the tackler and he hacked the kick forward. Rodney Eady's dirty that the hacked kick forward with a half a second to make the choice of where you direct that hack kick. He chose the centre square. You got to put it back to the traffic on the wing.
You've got a big hook, don't you? A huge hook back
so
around.
At least there's a fight on. It's too much of a risk going to the centre.
Looking for his third goal, Everett, and he misses. So again, Carlton wayward in this term. 3 goals, 6 from 15 entries. Gold Coast with 2-2 for the quarter, and the margin stands at 22 points. Here's McKenzie. Oh, it's dropping short. Cruiser takes it, dumps it with White. Not the kick he was after. It could turn into goal, though, for the Blues. Henderson gets a clean shot away. It's ugly through the air. And the result was only a minor.
3-7 for the quarter. 23-point lead. And in this day and age, even though they've only kicked 8 in 3 quarters, the Gold Coast, 4 goals is not beyond them in a few minutes of footy.
That's a better exit.
Now, but there's no one else.
No.
Now you'd look down the line, Charlie Dixon would be there. Now have a look at what he's got. Nothing.
Simon White falls back in and takes the mark.
In this last quarter, bad kick here.
He was very kind to him there. Whiskatelli, then he could have gone through with it.
And Rocket is all fired up, but unfortunately his Suns are trailing by 23 points. He might need a bit of old Rodney Eade magic to see if he can get them up and about in the final.
Footy is all about ifs at the breaks.
Malchesty's gone back. Sard's coming into the middle of the ground and Harbrow up to the wing. So there's their speed in the middle and on the wing.
You look at Carlton keep the front of their centre square open, so if they get a quick break, they can run all the way to the chalk on the centre square.
Tap from Nichols, smart, but it's the Blues. Holman buries in hard. Harbrow can't get clean handle on it. So Day's gone into the forward 50 down there with Lynch. For Gold Coast, Nichols had it all his own way. He was able to flick the handball through. Sard and here's Malcheski deep. Day's going to get a run and jump. In the end, he had to turn defender again. And Murphy to Yaron. He knew what was available for him. Tui was one of them. Weaving his way through. Yaron kept on coming. Had to jam it onto the boot, onto his left. Bit of a standoff there. Bell comes at it, but it comes from Miller. Had a really quiet day, just the 4 disposals. Simpson cleared the path for Murphy. Escapes Sexton and kicks cleanly to the back pocket and can get things rolling again. Buckley to Wood. He's got Cripps on. If you can just see him, he does now. Using a great kick, but it fortuitous bounce sets Graham away. Went for a long handball. Didn't quite have the length on the handball, but they're flying through some more. Here's Holman.
Good boy.
Guides it onto the chest of Bell.
Well done by the young captain at the other end of the ground as well. Mark Murphy just took it on himself to go straight across goals, and that change of direction gave the Blues 1 extra player every time the ball got shoveled on.
So Tom Bell.
Didn't kick well in the 3rd quarter, Tom Bell. We're hoping to return to a little bit of form with accuracy right now.
Averaging 23 disposals over the last 4 games.
There it is.
Wow.
That is horrendous.
Lucky to score.
That's almost missed his foot. This way can kick it.
McKenzie. Lynch versus Yaron.
Target.
Oh.
Had to grab it.
And now Yaron again sweeps the handball. Armfield to give his. Holman again, he wants to go for a pass, and he's effectively found Henderson.
What you've got, though, is somebody who the first 2 kicks he's got in the front half of the ground, he's lowered his eyes. And Henderson was a wake-up to it. So being around him at training together, knowing what he wants to do with the footy, Henderson knows he sees him. He's 45 out, most blokes, 9 out of 10 will go for goals. I know what this kid's like. I've seen him at training. I'll get on the lead to him.
Kick 1-1 this afternoon. Lockie Henderson to drive it through, and he has. A relief there for the Carlton fans. Finally some reward. And the margin out to 5 goals, and they go to Nick Holman.
Well, they did well. They did really well to lock that in their forward half. Get the repeat entry after the Tommy Bell miss. Sometimes they can come back to haunt you and the opposition can go right down the other end of the ground. But in this occasion here...
Costly dropped there by Lynch.
It was. And then Carlton had numbers on the ground. And that's just good play. And look at that. Second bullet he's produced with his first 2 touches.
Let's have a look at where the Blues are getting them from. Turnovers 6-5. Stoppages, they're outscoring them 4 goals in total. Kick-ins, all even.
Miller curled it forward, but you can see the Blues are off and running again. Curnow, Carazzo with the kick, I should say, up to half forward, tumbling in. Allard. Henderson looking to get back onto it against McKenzie. Miller's handball wayward. Armfield goes short. Oh! Casbolt reaching up for it. Graham. Oh, Bell trying to go his own way. It almost came together for him too. McKenzie on his left. There's Boston just outside defensive 50. He wants the one-on-one. Lynch, but farmed away well by Rowe. He's persisted. Nichols and Wood going at it again. Margin at 30 at the moment. Gold Coast need to get the next goal. It's hard for them at the moment. Quick kick forward from Wood. Even numbers at the contest. Malcheski feeling it. Here's Bennell. Shade. Already in this quarter, those handballs, Jono. 12 handball receives to 3 in Carlton's favour. It's been a real issue for the Suns.
Well, it has, but it's on the flip side, it's been a real highlight for Carlton, the way they're sharing the ball around. They're prepared to run and go with confidence.
Tui, that's a bit of a futile kick. Oh, they spoil each other. He's done well to mark that. Malcheski.
If you talk about the stat sheet, at the moment it's one of the rare times in our game you'll ever see a team with more contested possessions than uncontested possessions for the Suns, just in this final quarter.
Right.
In this final quarter, they've had 6 contested possessions. Now they just, for the first time, tick over into 7. Just shows you that they're not getting easy use of the footy.
Malcheski with a sweeping handball. This is Shade. Going for May. Casbolt. His natural leap. He almost dragged it down. Henderson prefers to handball. Allard needs to be delicate. It was always tough with Shade bearing down on him. Collects a couple of high fives for his work, does young Henry Shade. Nichols and Wood again. Curnow. Tommy Bell on top of the score involvements along with Cruiser. Bennell, here's Bell again. Here's been important in them scoring. Unfortunately, he just hasn't been able to do it himself. 2 behinds and an out on the full. There's Malcheski. There's some danger about that kick. Yaren's given away the free. He's also hurt Matera.
Now, this is the problem right here. This kick, though, they end up retreating to a dead end, back and across, rather than find somebody forward, even on a slant 45-degree inside. Now Lynch comes up, outnumbered.
Casbolt throwing his body around for the cause.
Good effort.
Good effort from both players.
He threw the leg over there. Cade Simpson almost got him in the camel clutch.
There it is. You love your wrestling, Derm.
There's one over the shoulder.
It's Cruz's ball. Sharing it around with Cripps. Happy to go all the way back to the 50, where Cade Simpson's been marshalling the troops all day. Buckley. For Tui, as they all start to bolt to this side. He's going to take them on. Unconcerned about Matera. Good lead up from Henderson. Gets to his feet quickly. Suns have filled the area.
Oh, Armfield's out.
Doesn't go for Armfield. Instead, the leaping Casbolt.
A little hurt, Levi. All of May's weight came down on top of him.
There's always something going on with Levi's.
Watch where May spoils, watch where May falls.
It's a Carlton free.
Cripps is down there, as you can see.
Tommy Bell's trying to reason.
Yeah.
Andrew Rains is on report. Watch the kick before we have another look at it. It's taken a little while to get himself composed and ready for action again. Patrick Cripps has had to really toil hard under the Rains tag. His 17th disposal. And the umpire stays down. Another behind. Yeah, we're watching. Oh, it was just a under the guts. There's another look. Bang.
It's a punch to the stomach. If the Hawthorn boys got off with a fine last week, that's what it'll be for that one.
Tui didn't want to take possession, and they've got some numbers here to utilise. Sexton sets the challenge for Lynch and Rowe. Rowe got the fist to it, but Lynch is still in the game. Desperate lunge.
Well done, Rowe.
When you look at Cripps' game, though, he probably gets more out of today than what he has for most of the year, because he's not just running around without a man and picking up possessions at will. He's been tagged quite heavily. He's still got the 17 or 18 disposals on the day, and he probably walks away learning more from this than he has in his short career so far.
Strange choice of kick from Simpson. Kick to a 2-on-1 against. Nichols takes the mark. Bennell looking to... It's tough for Lynch. He almost was able to take it.
It's even tougher for Mark Murphy to stand under it.
And Russell's shot for goal a little to the right. So, again, they've got to find a way of manufacturing a goal and give themselves some hope.
It's a good call, Hutto. They need to find a way to just pinch 2 back here. Get 2 back.
Good kick.
Put a bit of doubt in Carlton's mind, maybe.
They've got to do it in the next 3 minutes, but anything's possible, as we know. 5 goals in today's footy can turn around quite quickly, but they need to find some run. At the moment, they've got none whatsoever, Gold Coast. Very stagnant in the way they're playing their footy.
Allard up to the wing. That's a Carlton free. Go to Lockie Henderson. Woods coming up with the presentation. Shade every step of the way with him. Good the time in forward half through the first 12 minutes of the final term.
Yeah, it's huge, isn't it? 75% to 25, and they've scored on repeat entries. Gold Coast have held up the first time it's gone in. It's the second one, or the third one with those repeat entries where they've been found out as a defensive group.
Murphy or Lemons with the diving gully effort, couldn't take it. Armfield, he's had a big day and doesn't add to it there. Bit by bit, they try and work their way out. Russell wanted to give the handball to Kolodjasny. He wasn't interested.
There's a real disconnect here now because Lynch has too much space to try and get from one side to the other. Good contested mark there by Lonigan.
Yep.
Now Lynch is running back. Try and pop it on his head.
Cruiser gets back. Got the fist in. Doherty, Buckley, can they use the run with the space here and make something of this from halfback? Holman's on for him, was for a while. He's got a few metres on side, he'll be wary. He just wasn't able to synchronise with the player ahead in Wood.
The difference is Holman coming on gives them fresh legs that runs through the middle. And for the Suns, Malcheski comes on fresh legs, but he's a kicker. And he only carries the ball about 5 to 10 metres before he kicks. He doesn't give them run and carry.
Brilliantly spiked forward by Wood. Armfield looking to dish. He did. Everett to the top of the square. Casbolt and May. May gets the fist onto it, but it's still there for the Blues to take. Can someone capture it? They can. The handball, though, is wayward. And Tui with the fumble. Sock it away, Bennell. How was that for good fortune? And now today at half forward. He's got Boston and Lynch is charging back to the square. So Rowe's got to try and work out where this one's going to land. Lynch beats him to it.
Bit of transition from the Gold Coast. Carlton have done well, I think, in today's game of getting back first and then pushing out of that defensive end. First one that's opened up in a while for them.
Barry Hall, we've got the big fella Nichols coming to the bench and he looks spent, the poor fella.
Yeah, he's definitely tired, Derm. He's
Who's
hard
got
earned
to
rest for
ruck?
him.
Who goes into the ruck now? Does Lynch kick this and run in there?
I think he might have to, yeah.
Or semi-day.
So Lynch, big kick this one for the Suns. He knows it. It's hanging on. It's a goal and they're still in it.
They needed that finish, the Gold Coast. Semi-day, Derm is just walking towards the middle of the ground now to take this next centre clearance for Gold Coast. But that was just a bit of luck. Luck goes your way.
Bit of luck, but it's a risk.
It's okay.
Yeah, you've actually got to take it now. You can't just go out the back door and say, right, let's play safely, strongly, but do all the right things. We're down by 4 goals. We stay there. Got to take a few risks.
So it's a goal each in this last quarter and some hope for the Suns. Maybe they can turn that hope into just creating something a bit more convincing and put some belief in their team that this is still possible. Day, Blues need to counter hard, and they do. Isn't it terrific stuff by the young man Cripps, working in tandem with Murphy. And now Simpson, as he tries to shake this kick, but it's all the Suns. Well handled by Kolodjasny. Now he's got nothing for it.
Going to break for him.
Yeah, it's a good run.
Break kick, good
Just
boy.
emerged at the right time, didn't he?
Got to keep it going.
He could have given the handball, decided not to.
Probably the right decision, though. Matera being a left footer, coming back on that right leg.
He's going to stop and go back out anyway.
Boston along the line. They've got options. Riscatelli.
Simpson's back as the spare if he goes long to Lynch.
Well, he's causing concerns for Rowe. May's drifted into the 50 as well. It's Lynch versus 2. It's dropping short. May got there. Hurry kick Bennell. Armfield tries to defy Sexton. He got up. Gets the handball away. Simpson. You just feel the atmosphere's changed a bit. Just at the moment, the Suns.
He's got to give that. He had to give that. Got to get the ball mobile. You've got to get it in play and moving.
Miller into McKenzie. Back to the middle to wind up Kolodjasny off the left. Ambitious kick for Saad, thumped away Cripps. Gives to Yaron, had nothing to go to. He's poked it, Cripps has kept on coming. And he's looking for resources behind. Oh, and then he handball again. Not on the same plane as their teammates.
He's been good, Cruiser. He's starting to produce some really good work. Even his transition running defensively into attack then has been very good.
Pokes it down, but it goes to Hallahan. Curnow. Oh, well done, Bennell. Stole it off him, but then Cruiser got it back. Runs into Kolodjasny. So this little effort from the Suns has produced a goal, but needs to, with a hurry, get another one if they're to have any hope. In front, Day gets it down. Cruiser, Miller. It's close to the line, and it's out again. Crowd of over 30,000 here today. So the Blues fans enjoying seeing their team back being competitive again, fresh from a win last week. On target for another here. Graham, centre half forward, sets it for Henderson. The bounce critical. Made provisions for it. McKenzie was manhandled, maybe too high. Umpire didn't see it that way. Everett saw it just the right way, and he puts through his third. Job done.
There it is. Oh, that celebration, I still can't get used to it, Durham. That was just good run again out of a stoppage. Get the break here through the middle of the ground. Handball receives it through the roof this afternoon for Carlton. Really linked up well. But you watch Everett. Henderson does well here to lock up McKenzie, but he's the next back. Everett, he beats 3 Gold Coast players back. You can see them there, 1, 2, 3, to kick that goal. Just a desire to get back first, Everett.
Carlton coming up with the answers in this final term. Riscatelli restrained, and we'll have another ball up. So 2 wins in a row, it seems, for the Blues. And John Barker's made a fine start to his coaching career. Tui spinning back and getting it out to Bell. Kicked it reasonably short to a one-on-one. The percentages weren't great, really. Saad still trying to storm it the other way. Harbrow. Could have been some interference, but rode him particularly well. Boston stayed afloat. Buckley, all those handballs under duress, but they get it out of there and back to the wing. Give everyone an even chance. Nichols. Here's Saad again. He might be a chance to have a long bomb here. Sexton and Murphy. And the ball hits the post. That's a bit unfortunate. It was a massive kick from Saad.
It's impressive, isn't he?
Oh, there's another not 15.
They're hard on the kick-ins.
Simpson. He made Wood cover a lot of territory there. And he's tried really hard for his team today.
Run by Nick Graham, didn't spot him quick enough and probably decides I better just go long safely anyway. But it's
Touch ball. That wasn't the news Riscatelli needed. Vulnerable in the situation. And the skill's just slipping a bit now. Graham to Murphy. Good decision to not handball there to Cruiser. And it opens up for Rowe. Stabs it in the middle. Bell. Curnow in as quick as he could. Drifts away from Casbolt. He's tracking it down in the pocket. Happy enough, I think, to see it go over and out. Margin at 29. And the Blues continuing their improvement against an undermanned Gold Coast team. Cruiser. Little give from Carazzo to Allard. Armfield, no escape for him this time. Hallahan just got boot to ball, needed to.
Now that's not longer than the kick in at the other end, but because they're under pressure.
Miller. Down the line. Wood. Day. No chances by the Blues. Slapped over the line by Big Cam Wood. The margin stays at 29 points. It was a really good first half, Derm. I think that's...
It's a good contest.
Yeah. second half probably.
Well, the skills dropped away. We've
Yeah.
got two lower-ranked teams. They've still made a great contest out of it, fantastic contest, but the skills dropped away. You can expect that from a team which is, one team's won 2 games, the other team's won 1 game, and I think that was back in round 5 from memory with the Suns. So they're not great teams, but they've given us a contest, and they're still fighting it away now.
Great extraction from Cripps. Holman just couldn't get himself clear.
Oh, great kick.
Beautiful kick, and well collected by Day. And Andy Handball too slipped over. Raines has a bit of clear air. Let's see if he can use it. Beautifully spoiled by White. Still alive for Riscatelli. The little shake was good, but unfortunately the kick not there to match. His 23rd disposal out. Just sneaks in fact, for a behind. Here's the next 4 under John Barker. How many wins there do you think, Doom? A chance in any of those?
You're always a chance. So
you're saying I've got a chance.
Yeah, no, you're always a chance.
I look forward to the next 2 weeks. I really do. If you're a Carlton supporter, you look forward to the next 2 weeks. Bulldogs are growing as a side. Richmond's on fire at the moment, but you never know. You might get Richmond on an off day and compete well against them, especially at the MCG. That'll be a ripper. That'll be a pretty packed house now with the way Carlton are up and going.
They've worked that well, the Blues. Allard had time to hit up Levi Casbolt, and we'll get to enjoy a Levi Casbolt shot for goal, Doom, from 35 metres out.
Dying moments of the game now. It'd be great for Levi to actually, he's kicked 2 goals today from the point-blank range, right on the goal line, and that's great. But if he can just punch one through here, where he'll kick from will be about 45. It'll mean the world to his confidence as he moves into next week.
So Casbolt for his 3rd, and to take the Blues out to a game-high lead of 34 points. Instead, that's what we get. 13-18. It really could have been a much bigger win for the Blues. 31 scoring shots. Mind you, Gold Coast haven't been too flash in front of the sticks either. That's a massive kick down the line from McKenzie.
The lad can kick it. He's wonderful.
To White. They're winding up again. Graham too far out to score. Everett will look for his 4th.
Well, he was the only one who came at the footy on that occasion. Everyone else, including Carlton players, were going back towards goal, and he just burst through about 8 players.
Well, that's smart.
Came at the kicker. Yeah. Got in the vision and came hard.
One thing we always found as a forward line was if you all run to the same spot, it's easy for the back line. Separate options. That'll come back a bit.
It's online for his 4th goal there, but not to be. 3 goals, 3 for Everett.
Rodney Eade, look, he knows what he's got. He's got a team. He's got to start looking forward. That was his next 4 there. North Melbourne, Western Bulldogs, the Giants, and then the Crows. So they're not exactly any of the top 3 that are on the big 3. They're at the top end of the ladder. But he's been looking at players. He's played 40 players.
Matera misses. They found a way of not getting a goal there on the break.
Ali looks back incredulously.
Yeah, he can't quite work out what went wrong.
That was a bit more Malcolm Blightish, not knowing which opening of the goal face he was in front of.
That's not a great kick. Murphy found him. Made it just to shake off the tackle. White. Just treading that fine line.
It's back in serious form, Mark Murphy. Really consistent day to day.
So if you're Rodney Eade, you're looking at it, you say, we've got a list of 38, we've played 40, we've got a couple off the rookies, fill in for us. But I've got to look at I've had a look at some players that probably I wouldn't have looked at for the next 12, 18 months had we not had these injuries. So they've had a little bit of,
that hurts too.
Take. So they've got to look at these boys that are ahead of time in terms of getting some exposure, and it'll go well for them in the future when they get a full list to choose from. Watch here, Kolodjasny climbs right into his back and takes his balance away from it. That hurts.
You're right, Derm, with what you said, but there's other pressing issues as well, that the discipline side of things that have reared their head this year as well that have needed attention. They've been addressed with a strong stance from Rocket.
Hopefully Ablett back next week.
And that helps as well.
Down to the last 30 seconds. Levi Casbolt. 2 goals, 3. That's not bad, Levi!
Well done. Even though it was a big roundhouse leg swing, Jono.
Maybe a sore back, sort of. He was in too much pain to think about it.
It hit the centre of his foot. You could actually. You talked about the sound of the ball off Skinny Everett's foot earlier. That one the same. It hits the dead set centre of his foot, so it's going to go somewhere near them. Well done, Levi. Good take, good conversion.
Game high 35-point lead to Carlton. Inside the last 30 seconds. And Murphy just handballs blindly and then tried to follow it up. 18 seconds for the Suns, maybe to get a late one. They need to handle this better. Sexton, Harbrow.
Get it in there.
10 seconds. Rains. Bennell, he's got it on the bounce. On the,
Barry Hall, there you go. It's a bit late, Baz.
Siren sounds. 2 wins in a row for the Blues. And the Carlton fans are enjoying this second half of the season a lot more than they did the first half. It's just about the margin now. Will it be 35, 34 or 29?
Come back.
Hits the post.
Not enough.
So a 34-point victory to Carlton. And a lot of positive signs for the boys from Princes Park. It's a bit of a struggle this afternoon in the second half, both sides fatiguing. What are you pointing at, Dirk?
Oh, just Patrick Cripps and Andrew Rains. He went up to him, slapped him on the back, slapped him on the tummy as well, and said, "You're good." And he smiled back, Cripps, and he put his arm around him and said, "Yeah, no worries, mate, all good."
Yeah, I reckon he learns a lot today, Cripps. Really does. Have to fight for every disposal, and he'll go away knowing that he can handle a tight tag and still have an impact in a game of footy. Mark Murphy in super form for the Blues along with Zach Tui. And I love the fact Matty Cruiser back into the lineup having an impact as well.
Makes a difference. There's 19 disposals for Cruiser. Bell, a personal best 32 disposals. We'll find Barry somewhere out there in the